Good morning, friends. Super short, quick update. We are well over here where I'm at after the hurricane. I just wanted to say that because I know I mentioned it in the last episode. I had to record early and we were anticipating that coming through, but we are absolutely fine where I'm at. So just wanted to let you guys know that first off, right off the bat. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what we can do, like all of you at home, when you have something come up for you where you're feeling a little triggered, we'll say, or uneasy, and you're wondering, okay, what can I do to help this situation? I'm going to break down some basic questions you can ask yourself in order to help you work through whatever is coming up for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey Barr, and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No, this is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this. You are worth it, and you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in. Okay, let's start out by throwing a little hypothetical situation. I'm sure everybody who's listening has had something come up that you will be able to relate to a situation where you feel a little triggered. Even those of us who have done a lot of inner work, we've done a lot of healing around our childhood traumas or things that came up for us years ago, like a lot of us have been through many big things, right? Even those of us in that situation will find ourselves feeling a little bit triggered around certain situations. So let's just keep it small. And I want you to take what you can out of this and just try to apply it to whatever you have going on in your life and how this shows up. So the first example, I guess I will give is, let's say you are having a conversation with your spouse and they say something that just rubs you the wrong way, right? There's like a million ways to describe this. It pisses you off, it irks you, it causes you to feel very assertive, very defensive, without even realizing so much about what's actually going on. You just automatically feel that. So it's just like a snap, right? You snap your fingers and you're like, bam, I am mad or I am sad, right? It may display in different ways depending on the situation and depending on the person. So you guys know what I'm talking about. You can apply that to a business thing. Maybe a customer says something and maybe you get a text from someone out of the blue that's a past customer and you're like, oh, whatever goes on in your life, you get triggered, you are feeling triggered. And now the question is, okay, what do I do about it? So that's what I want to talk about. And I know I talk a little bit about journaling. I talk a lot about subconscious release technique because this would be a great opportunity to bring that to your coach if you have one, or me will say, some of my clients will say, actually, yesterday, this happened. Can we dig into this? I want to find out what's really going on here. Because this may be a big, aha moment for you, but whatever caused you to feel triggered is not that situation. Well, he said this, or, well, he's making me upset, or whatever it could be. That situation is not the real problem. That's just the top of it, right? That's the tip of the iceberg. The actual problem is from a program or from a limiting belief that you acquired when you were young, when maybe you had something else going on. So it's so important to take these opportunities and dig into it, because many of us are super tempted to just be like, okay, it's fine. I didn't like that they said this. I didn't like that they called me after that or whatever. And, we're just going to brush it off. We're going to, walk away because we have a lot more going on than this moment, right? And that's okay if you need to do that briefly, but you really do need to circle back and kind of dig into that and say, wait a second, what really is going on here, right? Like, what is really upsetting me? Because it's not that actual situation at hand. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So if I say, okay, let's journal about it, this is something you're doing on your own. Let's assume you do not have access to somebody else in your life that you can throw these ideas at or talk this out with or whatever, because that's always an option too. But I would also caution you that a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. A lot of people want to help by telling you, oh, it's fine. Oh, it's no big deal. Or how would you feel if that was you, or whatever it may be. And these are all fine. They're going to uplift you. They're going to help you get through bad times. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're in a position to actually dig into some of this stuff, if it's showing up repeatedly, it is telling you, hey, you have something to work on here, right? So don't just cover it up and walk away. Let's work on it. Let's do what we can do on our own. And you will find as you go through some of these questions, I'm going to have you write down, that you're going to be more apt to figure out what these triggers are coming from. And you're going to be better at working through them and doing some deeper work on yourself on your own, you guys. You don't need anything fancy for this. This is just a way for you to dig in a bit. Will this work for every situation with every person? Probably not. But this will definitely have some benefit in your life. So I do encourage you to write down the following questions, okay? So when something comes up like that, the first thing I want you to do, now if it's a big problem, if it's huge, if you're finding yourself, crying, if you're finding yourself feeling like you need to yell at people, I would love it if you can find a way, and I teach this in some of my courses, but just breathe, take a couple breaths in and out, and just tell yourself that you need to package this feeling and you need to put it aside for a minute so that you can dig into what is really going on. Okay, so you might visualize yourself maybe taking all these big emotions and putting them in a balloon. Okay, let's put them inside this beautiful, whatever color balloon. You choose your color, y'all. And we're going to put them aside with the intention of, I am going to deal with these big emotions in a little bit. Right now, I really want to find out why this is so upsetting to me. So now I don't want to paint the wrong picture here. If you need to cry for an hour before you even get to this point, that's fine. Okay, if it's something big, that's fine. Now, 99% of the time, it's not something big unless you have regular panic attacks and things like that. Most of us are dealing with, let's say, smaller triggers that can easily be put into our own balloon and saved for a later date. Okay, so just know where you're at with things. Okay, if we're being hysterical, sometimes we got to let a little bit out, right? There's nothing wrong with showing emotion. Okay, as long as you're ready to do some work about it. I want you to remember that, because if not, all you're doing is reacting to your situation over and over and over again, and it's never going to stop. Okay, so we have to be ready to dig in and do some inner work. Okay, so if you needed to put those big feelings in a balloon, you go ahead and do that, and you tell it, I am coming back for you. But right now, I need to work on what's really going on. Okay? So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, why am I having such an emotional reaction to this? You're going to start writing, maybe give yourself, let's say, 2 to 4 minutes. I feel like a lot of people can get a lot out. These things are super fresh for you if you're just being triggered. So there's a lot sitting there on the surface ready to come out. So why am I acting so emotional to this? Okay. The second question I want you to write down that you will ask yourself is, what in this person or in this situation is a reflection of something I'm dealing with or I have dealt with. Okay. Is there anything in the situation that mirrors something going on in your life in the past, most likely, or currently? Okay. A lot of that is going to come from reactions that we have to things people say or things people do. This question will provide a lot of clarity for those kind of things. Okay. So it's super important. And I'm going to tell you now, a lot of people don't want to look at themselves in these situations. They want to fall into that victim state and stay there. And maybe you have been victimized, don't get me wrong. But when you stay there, you miss the opportunity to look at this from a reflective view and say, actually, I used to do blah, 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 and I've hurt people in this way. And now I'm seeing that come back because I haven't really healed from that, or whatever it could be. That could be a billion things, you guys. But just understand that whatever is triggering you right now is a reflection of something in yourself that you have not healed from. Okay? And the third question that I want you to ask in those situations is, am I ready to not only heal this past story, but also forgive the other people in that story as well as myself? Am I ready to truly heal this? Okay, some of you may get a no from that. You may feel very upset at the thought of being able to forgive these other people or forgive yourself. But I want to caution you here because a lot of people do not feel like they deserve forgiveness. Okay. And the other thing is, a lot of people do not feel like forgiveness would benefit them because they feel like they are taking this younger version of themselves and not standing up for them anymore and letting them be hurt. But the reality is, this is in the past, right? And that younger version of you is only a memory at this point with energetic ties to your existence now. Okay. So you're not letting down little Aubrey or little Lisa or little Susie. You're not letting them down by forgiving people that did things to them that you didn't like, or forgiving yourself, right? In those situations where maybe you made bad choices or wrong decisions. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with forgiving those. Okay, there's a little hiccup there that I've been finding a lot in people, that they just feel like they're going to let that person down. They're going to let down themselves when they offer forgiveness. And the reality is, forgiveness comes from inside, right? It comes from inside of you and inside of me. And it doesn't even have to be relayed to anybody else. It doesn't have to be anything to anyone else. It's truly something that happens within. Okay, so all that being said, I hope you guys take these 3 big questions and I hope that they mean something to you. I hope that you apply them in your life when you feel something come up that you're like, dang, I really need to take care of this. Please use these questions and try to work through it yourself. See what happens. You guys are super powerful. You're super brilliant. If you're listening to my episodes, then you're already thinking on this path of better understanding and a better life. And so it's time that you take some of these tips and start applying them in your life. Okay? So thank you all for all your well wishes. I hope to talk to you again on Tuesday, and have a beautiful weekend. Please make sure also that you sign up for the email list so you know when we're launching another round of Deep Healing for the Creative Soul. I'd love to have you guys in there, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye. I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on, because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.